thank you to our very special guest, OJ, and also his band. We're super hyped to have you guys.
Happy to be here.
OJ, welcome, man. Tell the people about yourself and who you are, what you do.
I mean, the short answer is, musically, I rap, I play the sax, and I just try to kind of add in a bunch of other stuff as I go. But I mean, I guess I could take that question in a lot of different ways.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess I consider myself passionate about a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of times it's kind of hard for me to kind of focus in on one thing. But yeah, I mean, my dream is to be a musician, and that's what I care most about, I'd say, for sure.
Outside of your passion for music, you said you're passionate about a lot of other things. What else are you passionate about?
I'm a big chess player.
Okay.
Chess a lot.
I was going to get into that later, too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like politics a lot and current events and just philosophy. I like sports. I'm a big sports guy.
Okay.
I like nature. I like traveling. I like ancient humans a lot. I like
That's hard. That's hard.
Like ancient human species, hominids, all that shit. You know? That shit's dope. So.
Hell yeah. I could tell you were a big chess guy with Bobby Fischer.
Yeah.
That was your first single ever, right?
Not the first single ever, but it was definitely one of the first ones.
Fire.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah. I know that you started playing saxophone in the third grade, mm-hmm. and then you ended up falling in love with hip hop in eighth grade, riding on the school bus, rap sessions.
Yeah.
How did those two come together? Like, how did that blend? And when did you realize, like, oh, like I can do these at the same time? Because nobody else is rapping, making music, playing the sax.
Well, there are a few. This dude called Diz, who's super dope. He's Annabelle Klein is his manager.
Okay.
And I'm sure a lot of people know who she is, but yeah, there's not many of us. But yeah, I started playing sax in third grade. And it was mainly just like a school band kind of vibe. Like in third grade, they gave you the option. I was like forced to do chorus since like pre-K. Yeah. And then in third grade, they gave you the option to switch it up. And I was like, fuck this. I don't want to do this no more. So I just like picked the coolest looking instrument and just did it. And it was more out of circumstance than like, oh, I've always wanted to play the sax. And so I kind of just stuck with it for a while. And then, I was like one of the better students, I guess, because all the band teachers liked me and they recommended me for like the jazz band. And then I grew up in Boston, so they recommended me for like the Berkeley summer programs and like the school year programs. So I did a bunch of Berkeley lessons and ensembles and stuff when I was in like grade school, because like the Boston public school music system was pretty trash at the time. So and then in eighth grade, yeah, there's this kid on the bus. Who like I'd always kind of listen to hip hop, but this kid on the bus like showed me like more 90s stuff, and I just like fell in love with the sound of it. And he would always like rap to people in school, and it was like really uncomfortable because I guess people, he was rapping at people, but I kind of like respected it because I was like, hell yeah, But and then he kind of inspired me to write my first rhyme, and then I was like, wow, I could express myself musically in a way that I couldn't playing the sax, because I felt at the time, at least, the sax more felt like a requirement than a form of self-expression. And then, so I kind of, after I graduated high school, and I was like, I don't have to play the sax anymore, I'm done with this. So I just focused on rapping. And I went to college in Philly, and I would go to like a bunch of open mics and things, and just rapping, and people liked me, and I definitely made some connections, but I didn't feel like I wasn't catching on, and I wasn't expressing myself in the way that I felt mm-hmm. like I could have been. So I tried to think of other ways I could kind of make myself stand out, and I remembered that I had this whole other skill set from my childhood that I could like try to utilize. Yeah. So I picked the sax up again, and I lived in like this like commune of an apartment building almost. It was weird. It's a different story, but I started like going down in the basement of that apartment building and practicing again. I was super rusty, but then then I kind of just started doing both on stage, and ever since then people seem to like enjoy my music and my vibe more, I think, because I think hip hop fans can look at it and be like, wow, like he not only can he rap, but he can also play an instrument. That's different. And like people that are more jazz centric or maybe don't listen to hip hop that much can be like, oh, like he plays a sax, but he also raps. That's dope. Like they can. So it's kind of the best of both worlds in that. I guess I could attract more people to what I was doing. So that's kind of how that came about.
Oh yeah. I know that college was a pivotal moment in your career. You started refining your sound with a live band. Was there a moment too in there where you're like, kind of like when you went back to picking up the sax again, where you're like, just a certain moment that stuck out where you're like, oh, I should be doing this, or I should be testing myself more, or even like just playing with a live band as well, beyond the sax?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like once I started playing with a live band, it just felt full. Like, you know, especially from a hip hop standpoint, because so many rappers just play with tracks, you know, and I feel like people are used to seeing live bands at shows, but I feel like when like rappers use live bands, it hits a lot harder because people just aren't used to seeing it in that environment. So yeah, it changed everything for me for sure. Because I could like kind of like, you know, I'm kind of an introverted person by nature, so going into war with like other people on stage with me that I can kind of bounce off of and not have the attention on myself 100% of the time, like helps a lot. And it helps me be more expressive on stage because it's like I'm not the only one responsible for the entertainment, you know?
100%. Yeah. You moved to New York City almost a year ago, also happy almost 1 year anniversary. What was that transition like personally and for your music career? Because I'm sure, you know, the music scene out here, we're discussing outside as well, like the music scene out here is so much different than Philly and Boston. What was that transition like?
For me, it was like, honestly, as seamless as it could have been. I guess I was lucky in that respect. Not that like everything is going like, you know, perfectly according to plan. It's not like I'm living in like a dream or anything, but I already knew a lot of people here. One of the reasons I left Philly was because a lot of my friends there were leaving to other places and to New York too. And I also had a lot of people from my hometown that lived here. My brother lived here. And I'd done shows here quite a bit. So I needed to change the scenery, and it was like, I don't know, it just made sense, you know. I'd been in Philly since I was 18, so I kind of I hadn't really like been an adult anywhere else besides Philly, so I was like, yeah, it just made sense.
100%. It's super important to get out of your comfort zone too, experience new things. And something that I feel like it kind of ties into it a little bit, but something that I feel like makes you super unique is that you really push boundaries. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
of course. With your music, how do you challenge yourself to do that and get out of your comfort zone when making music?
I mean, I think just making music is already outside of my comfort zone. You know, I feel like if I just existed in a vacuum, I wouldn't make music. I think a lot of musicians are just artists in general, I feel like they're so forced to feel like creating is part of their identity. And I don't deny that a lot of artists are like that, but for me, it's like, it really is like pulling teeth, you know, like I really have to sit myself down and force myself to create and like do something meaningful, or else I'll just like play video games all day, honestly. But that's important though, you know, like that's how I push up myself out of my comfort zone. It feels worse to not create than to create, even if it's hard to create. So, I think when I do manage to sit myself down and actually make something, I don't really have any other option as to just be myself, I guess. I used to try to like sound like other people, or even if it's unintentional, you know, I think when people first start making music, it's really easy for them to sound like other people because they're just like emulating their favorite artists. But I just kept at it, I guess. Like I never, you know, it always made me anxious to create music and put myself out there, but it just felt right. Like I didn't really know what else I would be doing. So it kind of was just, it really does feel like I kind of just found myself doing it rather than I'm like choosing to do it, because it does stress me out a lot, you know? And I think it stresses out a lot of people because it is a hard thing to do. But there's like this idea that you have to pretend like it's fun all the time and it's easy and it's like this glamorous lifestyle, where in reality it's like hard as fuck unless you're like, you know, on a major label or something. And I'm sure even then it's fucking hard, but yeah, so.
That's so true. And even like a lot of people forget about it, but artists are, you know, in order to relate, you have to be vulnerable, and to make every record and, you know, put your heart on your sleeve and be vulnerable. It takes a lot for people to do that. So, you know, kudos to you and all the other artists out there that are doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone seeing you perform live for the first time tonight, what can they expect?
I don't know. I feel like it's hard for me to kind of like objectively judge it. I feel like, I guess it's different in the sense that, I don't know. I kind of feel like whatever they want to take from it, honestly, it's hard for me to answer that question. I feel like,
they just have to experience it.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I try not to box my art into like, you know, buzz phrases and you know, and catch and little word salads, you know. I feel like it's more important to just kind of express yourself. Cause like even tonight, like the guitar player I'm playing with today, I've never played with before, you know, like he's just subbing in, and I texted him today to do that. So like in that respect, I don't know how it's actually going to be, because like I've never played with him before. Not that he's not good. I mean, I'm saying it in the sense of like every show is like a different vibe, and like depending on where I am or what the, you know, what the venue is or what the situation is, what the context is behind the performance. So I try to just play the best of my ability and just see what happens, you know.
That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Tell us about your new album, Wrong Notes Played with Gusto. Or Gusto.
Yeah, it's definitely the work that I'm most proud of. It was kind of spawned from me just kind of tired of, when I created, I always felt like I was trying to make this huge, like insanely conceptual thing, and it was just hard for me to kind of do that. So I was just like, I'm just gonna make random beats and random loops in bulk and just see what sticks without really thinking, without putting a filter on it. It ended up being like the work, like my actual most conceptual project, that it actually, I kind of achieved that in abandoning that mindset. So yeah, the philosophy of it is like doing the wrong things with confidence is better than doing the right things with timidness, because I felt like I was trying to do the right things so hard, and it always kind of fell flat, and it didn't get the people didn't identify with it as much. But as soon as I kind of like put that, I kind of just created without a filter, and a lot of the shit I made in that process was trash, you know. But you know, I had like 10 songs that ended up being dope, and it kind of just fit the concept well. And it's my most experimental stuff. It's my most like out there stuff, and it's the most me. You know, it's the most like me I ever felt on a record. So yeah, I like that. I like the album a lot.
Hell yeah. And also that meaning is super powerful too. What's next for you? What do you have planned?
Well, right now I'm trying to like buckle down with like a core group of guys from my band and like really get tight. In Philly, I had a group that I was like rehearsing weekly with, and we were like really tight, and we are getting a bunch of cool shows. And then it's only like as of quite recently in New York that I've kind of like been approaching that again. So I want to really buckle down on that. After the album dropped, I haven't been creating as much as I'd like to, so I want to kind of like go back in the lab and try to create again. Just trying to stay consistent, you know. It's all you can really control. All you can really control as an independent artist is the music, the consistency, the quality of the music, and the content you're putting out to promote it, you know. And everything else, not that that's the only thing that's important, but that's the only thing that you can, I think, truly control. If you don't have like a massive team or like this big shot manager, you know, you kind of just have to, those are the two things you can genuinely control. So that's kind of the two things I put my most time into. So yeah.
Fire, man. That's amazing. I know we're all super excited to see everything come together and watch and be a part of that journey. This next section, it's a game we call in or out, and I just say a word. This is really quick. Fire off word after word. You just say whether it's in or it's out for you. In or out, chess.
So in.
So in.
Never was out once.
Do you know your score?
Huh?
Do you know like your chess score, your chess
My
ranking?
rating?
Yeah.
Like 1400.
Damn, that's great.
On chess.com though.
Okay.
So in like FIDE rating would be lower than that. I'm not like amazing, but I'm all right.
Philly cheesesteak.
In. You got to be harder with them, man. That's so in.
Yeah. You said outside too. You were like Philly cheesesteak over New York pizza, which is.
Well, I'm saying I think I like them both equally, but I think it's harder to find a good Philly cheesesteak than it is a good slice of pizza.
Respect.
So we got to preserve that.
No Genos.
Harder, you know? It's like a good cheesesteak is like an endangered species. You know, you got to protect it.
Respect. Chopped cheese.
I like chopped cheese.
Okay. Frosted Flakes.
Oh, I would have to say out. Even though like that was my actual first single, Frosted Flakes.
Okay.
At least under my name now, but I used to love them, and I think I just overdid it, and now I can't really eat them anymore.
That happens. Manhattan.
It's out. Fuck
Out.
Manhattan.
Okay, respect. Brooklyn.
In.
Okay. Wired headphones.
Oh, in, dude.
Okay.
I'm broke, bro. You think I can't afford AirPods?
TikTok.
In society, out, like, it's definitely a cancer, but it's my, for my purposes, I'm forced to say in, unfortunately.
Bet. And then roller skates.
Like the quads?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with roller skates.
Bet.
Roller derby's pretty rad. So.
Okay, respect. That was in and out, in or out.
Yeah.
This next one's called One's Gotta Go.
Oh, okay. I like
This one's going to be a little bit tougher. We have 4 things, and one has to go. First up, we got jazz, chess, vinyl, MF Doom.
One has to go.
One has to go.
Say them again.
Jazz, chess, vinyl, or MF Doom.
I'm gonna go chess.
Damn.
Just because it's the most specific one out of all of them. Like all the other ones are, yeah. I can play checkers. It's okay.
Respect. Life experiences, books / poetry, TV / movies, or visual art.
Well, definitely can't be life experience because then I can't experience any of those things. So, what was the other 3?
Books or poetry, visual art, and TV / movies.
I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but I'm gonna say books and poetry just because I consume that the least.
Okay.
Not that I don't want to or I don't think it's valuable. I just
Respect.
At least in my current life right now, I don't. I watch more movies than I do read books, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that.
All right, bet. Instagram, X / Twitter, YouTube, or TikTok.
X / Twitter. That's like the worst place on earth.
Okay. Respect. The last one, record stores, thrift stores, art galleries, or music venues.
Music venues would be pretty hypocritical, so I can't do that. I'd be walking around naked if I said thrift stores, so I can't do that. I have to go art galleries, man. I like them, but I just go to them the least amount.
Respect.
Yeah. It's hard to say that, but
yeah. Fire. That was One's Gotta Go. Lastly, of course, where can the people find you on social? Plug your social as well.
Yeah, it's OJ Mountain on everything. OJ like the juice, Mountain like the terrain. If you're watching if you've watched this whole interview and you don't look me up, you're tripping at this point because like it's been a long, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's my name. Just look me up, you find me. But fuck social media.
Respect. OJ, thank you so much. We're all so excited to see you and the band perform. Thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate it. Let's get into it.
Thank you.